Thank you so much. Thank you, David Stern. Thank you to the Board of Directors of Equal Justice Works. Thank you to Mark Gary. Thank you to Keith Whitmore, those who so graciously offered to sponsor this event tonight. Thank you. I am truly honored and humbled to accept this year's Scales of Justice Award. This honor is deeply meaningful to me. It represents so much, giving back to the community, helping others, seeking justice and changing lives, not just through the help of one person, but through the power of the law. I am just in awe of the work of the Equal Justice Fellows and all the young lawyers here tonight that have been recognized. I also admire so greatly. You should applaud them. I also admire so greatly the work of Equal Justice Works, their tireless and inspired efforts to leverage the time and talent of these young lawyers for public service. I distinctly remember my first opportunity to do pro bono work. It was a really small matter. There was an older woman who took care of children in her homes, and she was just a wonderful woman, but she had had a challenged life and really didn't have a lot of family or support around her. At one point, she approached me. It was shortly after I had graduated from law school, and she asked me to do her a favor. You see, she wanted to change her last name. She didn't know her father. She'd never received anything from him. She didn't feel like he was a father to her. And she just felt kind of lost and alone and lonely because she really didn't feel connected. She wanted to change her name to Abraham because the only father she knew was God, and she felt like she was a child of God. So I did that small pro bono task for her, but what it taught me was really the power, as Jessica said earlier, the power of how the law and an ability to work through the law could make a difference in someone's life, even for something as small as just changing their names. She stood prouder after that name change. She felt more connected after that name change, and she was able to go on to do great things. But it was simply just an act of the law that allowed her to regain her confidence, her strength, and her warmth. In accepting this award, I just thank so many people. I'd like to recognize my mother, who's here today, and my husband, and my daughters, Kristen and Morgan, without whom I could never do the things that I do. They are so genuinely supportive of my work and my efforts, even if it means they have to eat fast food again. I also have to thank Mark Gary. Mark is just a tremendous person. I followed in his path and I walk at his heels. He left Atlanta and he left me handling a lot of his work, but he didn't stop working. He's a great fellow. He's a great commitment. He has a great commitment to service, and his example of using your position and your time and your talents to benefit others is one that I've taken to heart and hopefully carry on and will lead an example for others. I also must acknowledge my employer, UPS. UPS was founded in 1907, and the company has survived and thrived and grown because of its commitment to teamwork and to community service. Even after 15 years at this company, I'm truly amazed at the UPS commitment to volunteerism and community service. And it is that commitment to volunteerism and community service that really encourages me and also allows me to do the things that I can do for others. My only regret in accepting this award is that there are two very special people that are not here that I wish could have seen this room and these people and all of you who are so committed to doing the work of equal justice work and to serving and helping others. And those are my grandfathers. My grandfather on my father's side, Louis Plummer, was a lawyer. He sat for the bar. He read for the bar the old-fashioned way. He never went to law school. And when he began his legal career, he wasn't able to make a living practicing law because of the racial issues of the time. So he went to work for the post office. He worked there as a contract compliance officer for years, and he eventually retired. And at the age of 65, he hung out his shingle and began practicing law, helping the people in his communities. He took court-appointed cases, and although we used to tease him about going to the office just to watch all my children uninterrupted, But he really was committed to working and helping others in his community and being someone others could turn to. Now, my other grandfather wasn't a lawyer, but he worked in the community equally. He was committed to helping young men change their lives. He sponsored football teams and baseball teams, and we always had a string of young men hanging out at the house seeking his guidance and his direction. And it amazes me to this day the number of young men who come back and visit us and who tell us how much my grandfather impacted their lives merely by the time that he spent with them. From those two men, I learned a very important lesson, that we all face challenges. We all have concerns and problems that we deal with. Some of them are legal problems and some of them are not. But when someone takes the time and the energy to help, to lend a helping hand, to help change the course of that problem, to make a difference in that individual's life, it means so much. Because that problem, no matter how small, can be so encompassing to someone who's facing it. It can be so challenging and so daunting. But when someone takes the time to lend a hand, to help and support them through that problem, to encourage them and to guide them, it can mean so much. And it truly does make a difference. Many times it's a greater difference than we ever realize. Both men took great satisfaction with their work, and I take great satisfaction not in the awards or the recognition, but in encouraging others to do the same thing, to help our communities, to help our people. There are so many people that continue to be in need, but the things that we can do, no matter how small, can and will make a difference. To this day, when I work with individuals who are in need, I am constantly reminded of this point, that no matter how small the issue, the kind touch of a human hand, the warmth of encouragement can make a change. And so I thank you for this recognition. It's simply a reminder to me of all that I still have left to do, of the needs that are still unmet, and of the work that I can do to encourage others to reach out and lend a helping hand, touch someone in your community or in your home. I thank you for this award. I thank you again for the work that you do. And I just want to say thank you for your participation and your support here tonight. Thank you.